The Chinese company SJCAM bringing yet another budget-friendly 4K action camera to the party. Two separate lenses focused on good low-light performance and battery endurance. So is it any good and is it more reliable than SJCAM's last few generations? Let's inspect. Well, this is the weirdest action camera I've ever tested on the channel. Look, two separate lens modules, which probably means that this action camera could be twice more capable or better than other action cameras on the market, which is rather unlikely given the proven record of SJCAM, the company doing this action camera, for poor customer care and some questionable technical decisions. And basically their business model from the past few years is focused on milking their customers, because SJCAM is still somewhat recognizable in the world of action cameras and they still maintain kind of okayish pricing. And sounds like I already have pretty low expectations about the new SJ20, which can be a very good thing because it can prove me wrong. The price, although meant to be budget-friendly, is certainly not among the nice-to-haves. $239 is more than the SJ10 Pro model and too close to GoPro's current models. In fact, right now, at the moment I'm making this video, the Hero 11 is only $60 more than that, which makes SJ20 less and less attractive option. On the other hand, with Akaso and other cheap brands raising their prices as well, maybe this model has some good chances after all. Unboxing the camera has been some good experience. It is in no way premium feeling and the dual lens approach looks weird at least. But hey, this is something fresh and different, well, up until the point you take the SJ20 out. Because, well, it doesn't necessarily feel cheaply made, it is in no way as sturdy as the DJI or the GoPro models. We can see these frames with unusual size. It obviously comes equipped with two different batteries as well. The inbuilt one is rated at 800 mAh, non-removable. The extra one, which is detachable, is 1500 mAh. Nice looking display at the first sight, at least under studio light. Some other accessories are included as well. Perhaps the most interesting one, these noise reduction sponges. They can improve the audio quality when it is windy outside. If you care about the specifications, we have a Sony image sensor inside, a Novatech chipset, two lenses, one with 1x1.6 aperture and the other one with 1x1.3. There's a 2.29-inch touchscreen on the rear and a smaller 1.3-inch display on the front. The camera is waterproof with just the protective frame, and you can use this extra case if diving deeper is planned. There even is Wi-Fi support, therefore a smartphone app. Yeah, specs. If I may complain for just a moment, while I was working on the research for this video, I tried to reach out to SJCAM in order to find out which are the exact image sensor and system on a chip inside. Well, they kind of denied disclosing with me this exact information, so I can assume that they deploy an outdated generation of a Novatech SoC inside. Most likely it's really capable of 4K recording, and maybe they pair it with the IMX117 by Sony, which is a very, very old piece of hardware. And I assume this based on my experience with the colors and the overall performance, which is very similar to what SJ8 Plus from a few years ago has been giving in terms of overall performance. And in terms of design, well, the two lenses, the bottom one is supposed to be the night vision one, which is not really night vision, it's more like, a setup with wider aperture, the very same image sensor most likely, which doesn't necessarily convert into significantly better low light performance, because let's face it, action cameras have very small image sensors, and it's unrealistic to expect really great low-light footage, with exception for the last generation of Insta360 and DJI Osmo Action series. We also rely on this external battery, click mechanism, detachable, something that Insta360 have used for the first time a few years ago, and probably this combination of two lenses and extra battery guaranteed SJCAM getting a Red Dot Award for innovative design. And I'm already questioning the credibility of these awards because, well, performance, which we are about to explore now, I've discovered a lot of alarming things. If you expect me to show fake 4K footage, I believe this is not entirely necessary right here, because likely we have real 4K, but unless SJCAM confirmed the exact hardware combo, we cannot say for sure. Take a look at this picture, for instance. Distortions are quite normal for ultra-wide lenses, but the distortions notable here are kind of more than the tolerable amount. Notice the 3 branches at the sides. Usually this is caused by poor quality of the glass, or something which is less likely could be that my unit in particular has some sort of a focus issue. But truth is that once you see it, you cannot unsee it. And this weird thing with the timestamps, I mean, this is not a dashcam, and the metadata writes down the correct information about the file properties and the date of recording anyway. If you set this information right, of course, because I didn't. If we ignore the overall softness, which transforms into vignetting in some areas, the image looks acceptable, not too sharp, not too detailed either. Dynamic range is quite poor if we compare to a modern GoPro, which we should given the price tag. And of course, you're here to check on the advertised low light rail performance. I've made some samples with both the regular lens as well as the dedicated low light lens. You can switch between these by pressing this button, and there also will be visible indication on the screen. As you can see, this is nothing too remarkable and is way off the clarity provided by some of the good 2024 action cameras. So one of SJ20's major selling points just got debunked. Concerning the camera's shooting modes, there are a few of them present: slow motion up to 120 frames per second in full HD, and you can count on a dash camera mode as well, and of course produce some stills and time lapses. There have been times where this kind of hardware combo was actually good given the competition, but definitely this is not on par with the decent action cameras of the past couple of years. Microphone quality, which is obviously not GoPro grade. You have 2 options in terms of configuration, with or without noise reduction, with the latter one helpful when it's really windy outside. And you have the option to use an external microphone, something you have to purchase from SJCAM's official website, which you don't really want to do. UI, on the other hand, is rather functional. I can't say I enjoy the very small fonts and the somewhat irritating grouping of the items. You will still find what you're looking for, but let's say that the logic used could be improved. If you're concerned about the battery life, well, you shouldn't. If you use the extra battery mount, then it is realistic to expect up to a couple of hours worth of recordings, even in 4K. And quick charging the camera is supported as well, and you can recharge while you're recording. And to make things even more fun, there's a smartphone app which is there to help you with configuration, live streaming, downloading recordings and so on. Do not expect too much out of it, though. To make this review as complete as possible, here's a list with all the drawbacks I stumbled across, and if there's something missing, feel free to add in the comments below, because the lack of dynamic range, the fairly blurry image at the edges and the non-removable front lens are quite disturbing as a starter. In the end, my conclusion kind of matches the conclusion that Tom's Guide review about SJ20 has, and that would be that this camera is a hard pass because it is in no way near the performance of the current generations of GoPro Hero, the DJI Osmo Action, or the Insta360 Ace series. Furthermore, it's significantly worse than those, and not even matching the performance of mid-rangers such as a Caso, and overall the hardware inside is not any different to the SJ8 Plus from a few years ago, and the overall performance is worse than DJI Osmo Action Generation 1, which was released like close to 5 years ago. So you can imagine where my frustration comes from. For $240, this is a joke. Sure, if you can buy it for $120, $130, it's a lot more reasonable, but for any much more than that, maybe you can check some websites for a second-hand GoPro or DJI Osmo Action or something similar. So that's my take on the SJ20, something that, thanks to its pretty funky design and removable battery, which is a copied idea from Insta360, kind of try to convince you that it's a useful one, but I don't think it is for the standards of 2024. Well, if you enjoyed the video and learned something new, give me a like, subscribe to the channel for more cool tech inspections, I'm the Tech Mishka. I thank you very much for watching this episode till the end. Support me in any way or form you like checking the video description area for linking to this and maybe some good alternatives. And I look forward to seeing you in our next episode. Bye!